running from what's the worst that could possibly happen? It's season 4.
Episode 1.
Let's go.
We're back. Matt is kicking it off with an idea. So here we go. We didn't plan for this. Because heroes don't plan. They react.
So here we are on Idiots Go Running. This is Matt kicking it off to Colin for a change of pace today because I'm going to be throwing something at Colin and we're going to see where this goes. So Colin, say hi, everybody.
Hey everybody, this is Matt. I started this show. This is weird for me. This is really, really weird for me. Yeah, go for it, Matt. Start the show. Tell us why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, so Colin, you don't really know why we're here. I sent you a very cryptic text while you were on holiday saying, I have an idea for season 2 that I'd like to pitch to you. And I've told you pretty much nothing else about it other than let's jump on a call and actually talk about it live. And that's what this call is.
Yep, you've left me hanging for days, Matt. So I've gone over the weekend. I've been thinking about it. I've even spoke to Andrew about it, and I've got no sense from him. So as you kind of would expect. But Matt, I can't wait to hear this. And you've been so nice. You said, Colin, you don't have to go with it. It's just an idea. But Matt, there's a fair chance whatever you say will be just taken up and we're going to run with. Just to make you aware.
So be careful before you commit to that, because what I'm about to propose is it's kind of a big deal, right? So we will talk about it. And here's the thing. No matter how this goes, in a way, Season 4? Season 4.
Season 4. Yep. It'll be season 4.
Season 4 of Idiots Go Running can still kind of live within this realm, so to speak. All right, here we go. You and I first met when and how? Do you recall? I remember very clearly how we met, but in the event that the audience has not gone back to season 1 episode, I'm going to say 7. I don't know exactly what episode it was. Why don't you refresh everybody's memory as to how you and I first met?
So just another disclaimer is that I can't remember my own kids' birthdays, Matt, okay?
I love it. You're like, I don't know how I know this guy. We've known each other for a while, but how we met, I don't know. Beats me.
a wee while. Am I going to go back to, right, I'm going to have to think about it, 20, is it 2021? Is that the right year even?
So the year should
2020?
pretty clearly for you.
Oh, 2017 or 2018. No. Okay. So let me help jog your memory. Go for it.
It was in 2020 that I started a group on Facebook called Running with MS. Right. So this is our shared connection. Both of us being diagnosed with MS. You were a couple years before me, 2017, right?
2017, 2018, yeah.
Yeah, and I was 2020. So shortly after I was diagnosed, I started this group called Running with MS, and supposed to be a positive, inspirational group for people living with MS trying to stay active. And so a little while after I started the group, maybe about a year after, you sent me a message privately. You had found the group and joined it and said, Matt, I'm doing this crazy thing. Is it okay if I post to your group about it? So Colin, what was that crazy thing that you were doing?
That crazy thing I was doing, now you are jogging my memory, and I can't even remember when I started Mizen to Malin or even prepping Mizen to Malin. I thought I'm going to run Mizen head to Malin head. Anyone outside Ireland who doesn't know what that is, it's the length of Ireland. And I like the names, and I thought, I've never done ultramarathons before, Matt. I can run the length of the country. I can do 9 in a row. And granted, I'd only ever finished a single marathon in a row.
1 in a row. Hey,
one in a row.
Streak. We'll take it. Yeah. So you had messaged me privately before posting anything in the group saying, "Hey, would it be okay if I post about this?" And I responded, in fact, I don't even know, maybe the Facebook messages are still there. I have to go back. This is before we were connected on WhatsApp. But I'm pretty sure my response was something to the effect of, "Are you kidding? That's awesome. That will inspire so many people to see somebody with MS taking on such a huge challenge. That's amazing." And you and I started messaging back and forth. And in fact, the first time that we exchanged voice messages was still on Facebook. It was still pre-WhatsApp days for us, but it was during your actual run. And if memory serves, I completely lost track of our time difference. And I sent you a voice message at what must have been 2 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
Which you have since reassured me you were in do not disturb mode. So I did not ruin anything. I did not wake you up, but I did feel very guilty about that.
Yeah. I would have said that, that was a big reason to my, so spoiler alert, you haven't heard episode 3 of our Mizen and Malin podcast. It will come soon. Okay, Eddie. So it's a bit of an in-joke. Myself and Andrew, this is another side note. Myself and Andrew have an episode of Mizen and Malin. We finished part 1. I think, did we even get to part 2? And we said part 3.
I'm not even sure if we got to part 2 yet.
We don't even get to part 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's back in season 1 where you cover, I think, maybe the first 2 days. And outside of that, nobody knows what happened, Colin. Yeah. Actually, I think there were some spoilers along the way.
Yeah.
But yes, we don't know the rest of the story.
I think from even starting this conversation, the way we started it, saying, how did we start it? I'd only ever ran a single marathon in a row. I think that is the spoiler alert right there. We're going, I didn't complete it. It will forever be known as Mizen to Nearly Limerick run. I believe from Andrew's point of view. But yeah, I would say a big reason why I failed that run was I did get that message in the middle of the night, ruined my sleep. And the next day, I was low in energy, man. I was low in energy and I couldn't finish that day and I threw the head up. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying you were a big factor in me getting to where we are today.
I will own some accountability there. I will, I am very ashamed of that. However, here's the thing, Colin, you and I know this, and maybe a handful of other people have at least heard this. But you and I have talked about doing something crazy together for quite a while, right? Yeah. And you and I have also never met in person. For as frequently as we chat, we talk. If I end up awake at 2 a.m., I'm sending you messages saying, "Hey, do you want to actually talk on a real phone?" So we know each other quite well at this point, but we've never met in person. And we've said for more than a year now, it would be really cool if the first time we met, we did what?
Run the length of Ireland. Yes, am I right in saying this? I'm scared. Yes. I'm scared I'm going to get the answers wrong, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I put you on the spot already with how we met. And, if it makes you feel any better, my memory is even worse. I have to ask other people about my own childhood. Like, I don't remember. Do you? So, yes, I'll try not to put you on the spot anymore. But yes, we have talked about running the length of Ireland. And for at least a year now, we have said, let's do that in 2027. Right? So that's the news is out. The word is out. We're putting that out there into the universe. Now, what I propose for season 4, I suspect you may need to come back to me to answer, but it is this. What if we run the length of Ireland in 2026? Summer of 2026. Now, this may be the point where we pause so you can edit out a reaction.
Wow.
Because, logistics, family, kids, other pre-planned things that may get in the way. This is why not answering in this moment is totally okay, and why this may very well be a 2-part episode.
Matt, I'm speechless. I am absolutely speechless. So we rewind back to the early days when I was thinking about, so I didn't do Mizen the Malin. I failed it the first time. And I thought, when you mentioned doing Mizen the Malin, in my head, Matt, this is the way my timeline worked, okay? I would start to do ultramarathons. I would do more. And then in 2026, I would run Mizen Malin. But then you mentioned to me that you would come over to Ireland and run it. And I thought, I'm going to put this back to 2027. If it's 2028, Matt's come a long way. Let's accommodate Matt. 2026, right?
Yeah. Now,
there's one big issue.
Okay, go for it.
Is that our other idiot will want to run this with us. So,
by the way, this is in part why I said this should just be you and I talking first. And here's the other thing. And again, whether we use this on the podcast or not, you would throw this entire thing out, Colin. But here's the thing. Like, you and I, whether we do this 26 or 27, because I'm still game for either. And we can come back to, like, how did this 2026 thing come about? I'll get to that. That's not fun for the podcast, but I'll come to that anyway. But ultimately, doing this, like, you and I have to be completely on the same page and completely open and honest with one another about concerns, challenges, issues, the what ifs, everything, right? Like, I don't want you to feel, because you've said quite a bit, like, Matt, you're the one coming all the way over here. We've got to accommodate you. I understand and appreciate that thought, but at the same time, like, if there's something that's going to create a big issue by doing this, I don't want you to feel like, well, Matt's coming all this way. Like, we have to, no. So that's why, like, I already wanted to preempt this with, it's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say, I've got to think about this more. Because here's the other thing. Like, as soon as Amber and I had discussed this, my wife and I, in case we still use any of this for the podcast, I said, whoa, I got to talk with Colin soon, because we're talking 10 months. Like, that's, training wise, I do believe that's enough given where we're both at. But logistics wise, I'm not certain that it is. So we've got to get going right now. Right. So that's one piece of it. Then I also wanted to chat with you first, given, what Andrew's role in all of this might be. And then ultimately my thought was, hey, part of this season of Idiots Go Running would not only be our build up towards the big run, but it could also be Nick coaching us along the way. Right.
So we've got a coach.
Yeah.
Andrew's going to love that idea. Matt, Andrew is going to love having a coach. Andrew having a runner coach. Do you know, that could be the breakup of Andrew and Nick's high five moments. I think
that. And by the way, depending on what Andrew's thoughts are on this too, maybe Andrew doesn't run the entire thing. Maybe Andrew is Andrew, the crewman, good man,
yeah.
Along with running, here and there too. Again, so, lots of logistics to work out.
Lots of stuff going on. Andrew could be a hybrid role, a hybrid runner. Is there? I don't know. You've got the High Rocks, which is a hybrid rock star, which is getting a lot of abuse this weather, Matt. But yeah. 20 now. I'm absolutely speechless, Matt. I don't actually know what to say, although I'm still talking. But you came on and you said, Colin, I've got an idea. And I was thinking, what's this going to be? Are we going to run in costumes? Or are we going to do it in a different way? Do you want to do the Atlantic coast? Have you looked up something different? Have you got someone else to run with us? What's your thoughts? Like, I had no idea, Matt. 2026 hitting me with that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, like Matt, I'm idiotic enough to make it happen and to try things. As we previously said, this idiot tried to run this distance with one marathon under his belt and very little training and was new to running. So I'm in a better place than I was then. You were talking about training. So I'm off, obviously myself and Andrew are off the back of a Famine Way, DNF. And what did we learn from that? You can't just rock up to stuff, Matt. That was our biggest learning. That was Andrew's biggest learning. And I put the foot down afterwards. I said, Andrew, when you come to do Mizen to Malin, I said, you got to train. And he's like, I know I do. I actually know I've got to run. So Andrew's got to train. Now, can Andrew train? He didn't want to run the rest of this year, Matt.
Oh,
Can
boy.
Andrew oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
You can't. I think I will go on record as saying I would not advise doing this run by only 6 to 7 months of training.
No,
Like
no.
training starts now if we agree to this.
Matt,
Or for Andrew, it may be again. Hey, we can't have you limping along. Like it needs to be this hybrid role, for you to agree to it if
Yeah.
that's the training path you would like to go on.
Yeah. Because, Matt,
Yeah.
so let's get into the why. Why you're forward, Matt? What's the reason?
So I will say this, Amber and I have been talking about this ever since you and I first started ruminating on this idea, right? And she has long been on board with the idea. She said, I support this. I understand what will go into it, which I think we might all say, and then we will still all be surprised by what actually goes into it. Myself having trained for a 6-day, 150-mile run previously. Even that is not great context for what we're doing or, doing at some point, you and I,
Yeah.
right? But that's the closest experience I have to it. And she said, you should reach out to Colin and see if he would want to do it in 2026. And if he says no, that's fine. We'll still stick with 2027. But she said, I know it's something that you talk about a lot. It's something that you're looking forward to. And we can never plan the future per se and how things are going to go. But if you're able to be ready, willing, and capable by that time, then why wait? For me, it was like, well, geez, I had been thinking 2027 because we had vacation plans and things I believe, but I'll share with the audience. Amber and I have planned out through our 30-year anniversary, like every anniversary trip that we're taking. And we love travel. So, even in 26, we have a milestone birthday for one of us where we plan to go to Hawaii, and that still stands, right? So it's like all of these other things. But nevertheless, she said, hey, who knows, what will happen in the future? If you can do it now and you want to do it now and Colin wants to do it now and it works for everybody, then why don't we look into it? It's no different than when she said to me, like, hey, there's this Disney race. Like, would you want to do that with me? To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm like, something running related that you're on board with? Like, why am I going to say no to that?
I think you've just, in a roundabout way, related running with me and Andrew to Goofy and Mickey, which I don't know if that's a bad or good thing, but...
I mean, look, Disney is my happy place. And so I just put you on the same level as Disney. Now, I know it's not quite the same as being called Bono, but I mean, it's pretty close.
But, if I can hook you up with Bono along the way, I'll do my best. Me and Bono are tight. Matt,
Yeah.
this is incredible. So we chatted before and we said we have to start planning on a date. That date's going to have to move if we agree this.
Yeah. In fact, what was it? I think I gave you a specific date. We can go back in our
22nd of December.
Yeah, December 22nd, I said, we are going to have a call where we begin planning everything for 2027. Well, that's only, what, 3 months from now, roughly 4 months from now. And instead, we're talking about moving this up a year. We can't move that meeting up a year. That meeting has to happen, 8 months ago at this point, which is impossible. So, not only that, but again, I know you've got to talk this over with your wife. You've got things to look into. We have to talk specific dates. There are things that will be attached to this trip. I'll say that you and I have talked about where logistically, like I'll have to know this is definitely when we end by, because then my family will be doing this while we're in Europe too. So those are all, things that we would have to work through. At the end of the day, if we say, look, this is doing way too much too fast, because look, I know this podcast and somewhat this friendship we've developed is all about doing idiotic things, right? So it could seem really idiotic to try and take this on in a short amount of time. But I don't want to be so idiotic that we're causing stress for ourselves and our families by doing this. So here's the deal. If we decide that's doing too much too soon, let's stick with 2027. That's fine, because still this season can be about planning and training for that, because realistically, if we have an extra year to train, that's probably a good thing. So
it's more procrastination time for Andrew. Matt,
true.
I'm off the back of training, and I'm starting into training again, and I have this plan in my head that I'm heading to the Mourne Mountains. I think we spoke about it.
Yeah.
So the Mourne Mountains, a natural place of beauty, a lot of climbing, a lot of inclines, a lot of everything. So my plan is next year, I've already booked into NI 100, which is in June. So I'll be off the back of that, and then I'll be into Mizen Malin. I would love that. It would be brilliant. So I should be ready to go, Matt. There's nothing stopping me, as in physically fit, physically ready to go. All my training is in place for that.
Training wise for me, I think I'm in the right place right now to continue building up. I'm in a position to where I need to start doing back-to-back long runs, and then incorporating as much hill work and strength work as possible because of all of the elevation on this route, right?
I think we once got a tip from Nick, Matt. You finish that run that day, and you look after yourself first, and you forget about you start recovery. So I think it will be all about recovery, and how do you find recovering after a day's run on them back-to-back things. But oh flip, I am excited. The plans, yeah, we'll have to get a third head into this one, Mr. Andrew, and I'm gonna break the news to him when I see him. In this podcast, Matt said, "Can I get a chat with you?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem. I'm flexible. Give me a time that suits." And you give me today when Andrew has dropped his 3 kids off at my house, and I currently have 6 kids across the way, Matt. So, in pure Andrew fashion, he finds a way to just throw everything onto me, throw all his baggage onto Colin, and I have to pick it up and let him get on with his life. Matt. It's and he calls him the crew man.
Yeah, but he's pawning off his duties onto somebody else. That's why he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, it's fatherly duties. What you don't see behind the scenes is when I'm running all these races, Matt, I'm the one who's a crew man. He's just he drives the car. He's that's all he does. Matt, this is wow. I keep on going back to it. I can't believe this.
Now, as we've said, this is happening either next year or the year after. So we're telling everybody, right?
Oh, so this is kind of a lunch episode. Is that what this is?
I think so. Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, look, it's not as though we planned this episode at all. In fact, I think when I texted you, I said, hey, I think we should record this. I don't know if you'll want it to be an episode or not, but let's record it just in case.
All it means is that this is now a teaser for Mizen and Malin. So everybody, myself, Matt, and Andrew are going to run the length of Ireland sometime.
It's going to be a year, and that year is going to begin with the number 2. We know that
Wow.
much.
Well, that's brilliant. That's the way I deal with my kids' birth dates. I know the year, but I'm not quite sure the month and the day. But you know, I know they'll be 13 this year, or they'll be 14 this year. I'm gonna have to get Andrew into this teaser episode and throw his thoughts in.
Or this is teaser episode number 1. We cut it here. And then we do a second teaser episode where you and I break it live to Andrew.
So don't tell him.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right. I will do my best. I'm not very good at holding my water and saying nothing. But when Andrew comes to my door today, I'll be smiling, going, I can't tell you. Matt says I can't tell you. Unless I'll sign a non-disclosure thing, or not,
We could consider that route. Because before we even bring him into this concept, I think it may be advisable that you and your wife are on the same page as, yes, I think this may be doable. Otherwise, we get Andrew all excited only to find out like, ooh, no, this won't work. Because you and I haven't even talked dates yet. And there is a relatively narrow window that we have on our end.
He would go to January and go, so how long do I have to train? So he'll start doing the math of going, right, so what's the bare minimum amount of training I can get away with? I'm going, Andrew, you have to train. So when you talk about my wife, myself and my wife's relationship is interesting, okay? Where I just find out after my wife's booked an event. So currently, we hear this, Matt. So currently my wife has booked, without consulting me, without telling me, she's got 2 half marathons coming up, a High Rocks in Dublin, a High Rocks in Birmingham, and a full marathon in 2026 next year, okay? I didn't know she was doing that. She's also twice came home with a dog. So I've got 2 dogs, okay? So when you say me and my wife are on the same page, it's kind of the way we roll. So this is for everyone who doesn't know this. Me and my wife got engaged, and in 2009 would it be? Yep, 2009, and we planned on a 2-year engagement. Decided to move it forward a year halfway through to the family's delight. We said,
Nice.
"Oh, can't wait that long. We'll just move forward a year." So it's a similar thing to so I've got experience, Matt. I'm experienced in this, moving things forward a year. So I think I'm all good with it. I don't want to get your hopes up.
You're gonna love this, Colin. Amber and I, we got engaged with the plan to get married in 2009, and we moved it up a year. Yeah. We have so many parallels in our life story.
It is an alter ego from America. That the more we chat, the more we find that these things are happening. And I don't know, Matt, do you have a best friend or a brother who just doesn't run? Tell me now, because I definitely do.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. Now, granted, I don't know how much of my influence has played into this, but yeah, I do have friends that have at least become, I'll say, run curious, maybe because of my influence. But my closest friend, since I was 4 years old, recently started training for Ironman after not having been very athletic outside of weightlifting. I'll give him that, since high school. So, more than 20 years have gone by, and just within about the last year, he's taken to running, biking, swimming, all of that for Ironman, and we've actually run together. So, yeah, I'm trying to change the world a little bit here and there where I can.
One run curious runner at a time. I'm not going to sleep tonight, Matt. I think we do have to end this. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, Rachel, our plans for next year have changed. And she's like, are you having a laugh? And I'm going to be, nope. So we'll figure it out, and then let's get Andrew on the podcast. Let's get Andrew on the show, and let's break the news to Andrew. I'll say that you want to tell him yourself.
I like it.
I don't think it's right for me to tell him, because Andrew, he can be honest and upfront with me, Matt, but when he's talking to you, he'll be like, I have to say yes now. That Matt's brought to the table. If I bring him to the table, Andrew's going to be like, well, I don't know, Colin. All his self-doubt will come in. I think peer pressure is the way to go with this one.
Nice. When you're making a commitment to a 10 to 12 day run over 330 miles or so, peer pressure is the only way to go.
Oh, I'm there. I'm at Mizen, Matt. I'm at Mizen, and I in my mind I can see myself there, Matt. I am looking forward to it. Any last things before we sign off on this, Matt?
Well, since I had not planned at all for any of this, I really don't have anything deep or deeply inspirational or anything like that, other than to say I am looking forward to figuring this out. This has been the next big bucket list thing that I'd say for many years I didn't know was on my bucket list, right?
Yeah.
I had been building towards MS Run the US for nearly 4 years before running that. And, leading up to that, you and I had this idea. So it was the next big thing, but always a question of when. So for this to actually be happening even sooner than we both had in our minds, crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's absolutely mad, and the thing is, we still don't know when exactly, but it's gonna happen, Matt. It's gonna happen. Happy days. It's out there. It's in the world, and everyone knows about it now. Everyone related to the podcast, they know what's gonna happen. Matt, we're gonna need a crew. We're gonna need places to stay. We're gonna need, I don't know, food. If anybody wants to give us food,
fuel,
for sure. Fuel. Support along the way. I've already got one runner who'll be there with us, Matt. There's a fair chance that you're going to get to meet James, the wonderful James. And I said from day one, I don't know if he's real or I imagine him, but he just turns up on random runs. So, Matt, this is going to be brilliant. I am so excited. I'm looking forward to this. Right?
I mean, yeah, there's no going back now, Colin.
There's no going back. It's out there. It's in the world. We're running Mizen and Malin in 2020 something.
So Colin is in. But they need to break the news to the guy with a training phobia. Will Andrew join them on their journey through the green fields of Ireland? Next on Idiots Go Running, Matt breaks the news to Andrew that his rest days are over.